A lot of times it's just like the physiological response to stress in their body is too intense, so they can't think properly. And Patrik has shown himself able to think very clearly under pressure and maintain focus. So I think that's really the key difference.
Well, let's get back to the table and see Patrik's intense focus.
40,000.
Brandon Adams there, Harvard professor. Gives lectures on game theory at Harvard.
40,000 is the bet.
There's a bit of gamesmanship going on here. Jarrod Glennon has flopped a pair of 8s. He's now made 2 pair 8s and 9s. Patrik Antonius with a pair of deuces. So he's got deuces and 9s with the ace. Jarrod Glennon first to speak.
Bets 115,000.
He bets 115,000.
You might get a call out of Patrik Antonius here, as the 9 doesn't really change anything on that board.
Looks like he may be right.
Cool.
So Patrik makes the call. We'll see the river card. It's an ace, so Patrick's hit his ace. We'll see how Jarrod Glennon plays this card. He checks. What's the right size bet in this situation?
Between a third and half the pot.
Bets.
So it's 415 in. He's bet 175,000.
That's spot on. It screams value bet.
Call.
And he gets called.
2 pair. Aces and 9s.
So Patrik slowly chipping back up.
This guy really has nerves of steel, Jono.
Yeah, he certainly does. And it's events like those big high-stakes cash games and all the action that surrounds the Aussie Millions that really keeps these high-stakes players coming back year after year. I know I've said it before, but it truly is the Aussie Millions. There's just so much money every January that comes in. So Patrick's getting active here again. He's raised under the gun to 120,000. It's been folded around to Jarrod Glennon. In the big blind, Patrik has ace-4 offsuit. Remember, the biggest game we ran here was a $1 million buy-in game. It was Patrik Antonius and Tom Dwan, heads up, in 2009.
I don't think there's been any poker room in the world that has had as much success as a Crown Poker Room in organising big buying events, to be honest.
Well, we have the luxury of the Asian market as well. So Jarrod Glennon has called Patrick's raise before the flop. We see the flop of 7-5-3 with 2 clubs. And now Jarrod Glennon is going to lead out into Patrik for 110,000 with king high. Patrik with ace high. He's also picked up a small straight draw if he hits a 2. He's going to make the call for 110,000. Pot now over $500,000 in chips. Jack of hearts on the turn.
Patrik has a double belly buster here, which means basically a 2 or a 6 will give him a straight. And he's got the overcard being the ace.
Looks like Jarrod's going to fire another bullet. 205,000.
Antonius looks like he's a non-believer here. He may just call. He knows he's got outs. He may think his ace high is good. And also, too, he may be just floating here and maybe take the hand on the river if a flush card comes off, and then he can represent the flush.
Well, there it is. The 2 of clubs. It completes Patrick's straight, but now also looks to complete a flush. Jarrod Glennon checks.
I'd expect Patrik to bet here 100% of the time.
What sort of bet size are we looking for?
I would say 450, 500 maybe.
525 looks to be the bet.
That's right on. He wants to get paid. And the problem here that Jarrod Glennon has, is that he knows that Patrik is capable of representing the flush if it comes off. So he could think he's bluffing. But he has nothing except king high here. Would be an incredible call by Jarrod, but it would be wrong.
Jarrod lays it down, so Patrik Antonius is going to pick that up. And every year the Aussie Millions gets some interesting characters that come out. This year, we were fortunate enough to have Nate Silver from the US visit and play in the Aussie Millions main event. Of course, he became most famous last year when he got $3 million. So that man there, Dan Shack, is our chip leader. And he'll fold the 6-7 offsuit. Cabret gets out of the way, nursing that short stack. Mervin Chan.
He's been quiet of late, hasn't he?
Raised to 130.
He has, picking his spots. So he's raised it up here to 130. He's found a pair of aces. 2 black aces.
No need to be quiet with a pair of aces, surely.
No. Aces put smiles on faces. Patrick's going to make the call from the big blind with 5-8 of spades, and we'll see the flop. 5-7 jack. So Patrick's hit a pair of 5s and checked. But this man, Mervin Chan, with 2 black aces. Let's see what he does here.
That's 155.
So he makes a bet, 155,000. Action now on Patrik Antonius. See whether he believes him.
What I'm liking about the play so far at this final table, Jono, is that they're not taking 5 minutes for every decision. The play is fast, which is really good.
Patrik Antonius now with 3 5s. First to speak, looks like he's going to bet.
The base 275.
275.
That's a good bet by Patrik Antonius there. In my opinion, Chan should just call here. Shouldn't get too cute and put too many chips in the pot. Should just call and see the river card. And if Patrick's bluffing, then he's caught him. If he isn't, he loses the minimum.
So Mervin Chan does exactly that and calls. The river card's the 10 of hearts. Mervin Chan's still with the aces. He's got aces and 5s, 2 pairs. Patrik Antonius with 3 5s. Patrik Antonius going to make a big bet.
625.
625,000.
I can't see how Chan can fold here unless he's got a really good read on Patrik. I think Patrik has played it perfectly and Chan has lost the minimum. But he has to call. And shows him the bad news.
Patrik Antonius going to pick up a nice pot there. Just under 2.5 million in chips. Mervin Chan took a little hit. We're going to go to a break. Join us. Blinds still at 50 and 100,000.
A lot of play left here, Jono.
Race.
A lot of play.
It's 200,000.
Cabret now with the raise to 200,000 from the button.
Cool.
Mervin Chan will fold the small blind. Patrik Antonius makes the call.
Heads up.
Cabret with the queen 4 of spades. Patrik Antonius with the 9-10 of diamonds. So Patrick's flopped the diamond draw here. King 3-8 with 2 diamonds, and he's hit it on the turn. Patrik Antonius now with a flush. Cabret with a pair of queens. So after the action on the flop, Cabret might think his queens are good.
Bets 250,000.
So Patrik Antonius has made a flush and bet into it for 250,000. Cabret's made the call. And we see a repeat 8 on the river. So Cabret now with 2 pair queens and 8s. Patrik Antonius with a flush.
Bets 500,000.
So Patrick's led out here for $500,000 in chips. Action will be on Cabret.
Call.
And he'll make the call.
Flush.
Patrik shows him the flush. And he'll take down the pot just under $2 million in chips. So that'll really, really even out the chip stacks.
Raise 200,000.
Blind still at 50-100,000. Joe Cabret has made it 200,000 from the button.
Call.
Mervin Chan will fold the small blind. Patrik Antonius makes the call with the 10-8 offsuit. Joe Cabret
Heads up.
with the 5-2 of hearts.
Checkabouts.
So Patrick's flopped an 8 here, pair of 8s. 8-9-3 the flop with 2 diamonds. He's checked it. Joe Cabret is going to bet.
At 250,000.
He'll make it 250,000.
These players have definitely kept that small ball play happening where they're trying to keep the pot small by betting small amounts and not bloating the pot.
Check. Check.
So both players have checked the turn. We'll see the river card.
Checkabouts.
Actions on Patrik Antonius. He's checked.
Check.
Joe Cabret with no pair. Looks like he's going to take a stab at it, Joe.
I like this bet by Cabret. Jono,
Bets.
it's going to be very hard for Patrick to call here with fourth pair.
575,000.
But if anybody can call, it's Patrick.
What do we make of Joe Cabret's body language there? He won't look at Patrik.
Well, Joe's sitting perfectly still, trying to control his breathing. He's holding his chin up. He doesn't want to look at Patrik. Patrick's getting the stare down. Patrick's really not convinced here. And he's trying to get a read, but Joe's not giving him anything at all. Okay, now he's thinking back. How did Cabret act in previous times when he was bluffing? How did he act when he had it? Does it make sense that he can make that sort of bet on the river here? He's really struggling with this decision.
It's going to cost him 575,000. Just under 10% of his chips.
Being in this spot 1,000 times before myself, to me, when I'm in that spot, I'll generally end up folding if I'm that concerned about my decision.
Call.
Patrick's gone for the call.
Oh, he smelled something,
It was a great call.
and he was right.
Very good call.
Pot over 2.1 million in chips there to Patrik Antonius. And along with those chips will come some great confidence in his ability to read Joe Cabret there. We've just seen poker at its most elite,
Caddies, please.
one of the world's most elite players.